Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thank you for checking it out. This is Coach Dave, and I am back after taking a small hiatus from being sick. And what better way to jump back into the videos than using a subscriber's own topic for me, who told me about his backstory with his relationship and wanted to know why avoidants of every shape and size love to lie. And this could be before you get into a relationship, while you're in the relationship, and even after the relationship. And I figured, hey, I'm pretty qualified to handle that. I've been through it myself. I've read enough comments, talked to enough people. So we're going to jump right into that. So we all know with avoidance, when they get into a relationship, when they start seeing something with you, when they feel that you are the one, and what I mean by the one is you are the person that they've been dreaming of, the one that all their other exes couldn't hold a candlestick to, because it was always everybody else's fault. It was never theirs, that they didn't do any inner work or self-reflection. There is just somebody out there who's going to accept them 110% for the way they are, never going to trigger them, never going to bring up trauma, never going to ask too much. They will be emotionally unavailable when needed. They will be emotionally available when needed. They will be able to deal with them being distant. They will be able to deal with them not being physical. They will deal with them when they pull back, when they're in, when they're hot, when they're cold, when they push, when they pull, everything in between. They will be able to handle that, and they will never get bored. They will never get tired of them. They will always hold them in the most utmost respect and dignity. They will just be flawless in their eyes. And even though that does not exist, that's what they think with every relationship they enter. That's what they hope for. And even though that doesn't exist, that's what they hope. So when they're doing that, they envision this fallacy and fantasy with you, everything being absolutely impeccably perfect. And you're starting to feel that way too. You're hoping this is the one you've been waiting for, and it's genuine and authentic on your side, and on theirs, it's a fallacy. But you're in their fantasy. So when you're both doing this, of course, you're going to both put your best foot forward. You're going to put in all the time and effort and consistency that you can. And while you're over there bonding and living off the oxytocin and the dopamine, they're just riding the dopamine high. They're out on cloud nine, and they think this is going to last and it's going to be perfect. The only downside is what they're doing is they're overselling themselves, okay? They are the slimy, used car salesman of the relationship, and they're going to sell you a hunk of junk that they polished up and are trying to pass off as a Porsche, and it's really a busted 88 Corolla. And what they want to do with that is know that it needs a ton of work that they have no intention on fixing, but they're going to lie and smoke and mirror you and try to sell it to you, aka themselves. And more often than not, they're so good at it that you're going to buy it. And then you're going to find out later on down a couple months that it needs a ton of work that they never intended on doing and won't do. So they will sit there and lie to you about things such as how everybody prior to you was the problem. Every relationship that they've ever been in, they were controlling, manipulative, they cheated, they sexted, they went outside the relationship and entertained other people, they lied, they called them fat, they called them ugly, they made fun of them, they put them down, they talked to them in certain ways that isn't appropriate, they ghosted them, they pulled the rug out from under them. All things that they probably did themselves. Now, that's not to discredit them, because it does happen that their partners were probably toxic, because they do love those type of people for relationships, but they're probably not as bad as they're making it out to be, right? Because they're over exaggerating, and they will probably water down anything that they personally did so that it looks like a slap on the wrist in comparison, because the whole goal is to get you to feel bad for them and want to play white knight to save the damsel in distress, or they want you to be the woman who's going to step up and turn this bad toxic boy into a household name, and you're going to make him be better and finally set him straight. And that's what they do. They are so good at selling that story, and you just want to help them, that you don't see the red flags and you think it's genuine and you really believe it because you believe the authenticity that they're selling. The only problem is it's not real. So they sell those lies to you. And it gets to the point where even if you try to recall these things, they seldom remember them, and they often forget, even though they're so simple. Because on one hand, you're talking to somebody from the beginning who, through the relationship, when it starts to go sour, the real them comes out, that they don't even recall who they were in the beginning. They might not remember those things, because you're talking about two different people, and that's why it feels like you're talking to two different people sometimes when you are trying to talk to them, especially when it comes to something serious. And then there's other times that they believe the lie and practice it and rehearse it in their head so often and so much that these type of people will literally argue with you over something that they know is a lie. And they do this knowing that they're going to fight with you and argue with you about something that isn't even real. And they simply don't care, just as long as they get proved right. That's all that matters to them. They are the victim, they are not the villain. And they want you to believe them. And they'll go to any length to get that passed. And when it gets to the point where there is cheating, when it gets to the point where there's sexting, texting, entertaining other people outside of the relationship, making somebody else feel like they have a place in your person's heart where you're supposed to be because they don't care to respect you, especially when you're not around, when it really counts, no matter how much proof you have, no matter if you catch them first-handed, no matter if you have text, no matter if you have notes, no matter if you have video surveillance footage, no matter if you hire a PI detective and you have it all laid out in front of them. They will blame shift, they will dodge, they will deflect, they will avoid. They will make it all be not about them. They will blame you for why they acted the way they did. They will blame the other person for why they acted the way they did. They will come up with the most unbelievable scenarios because they don't want to be the bad person. And that's just the way it is. Then throughout the relationship, you'll get little white lies here and there. You'll get big lies here and there. And then they'll downplay them. Like, oh, that was nothing. I was just kidding. Or, oh, I was just messing around when I said that. Or, oh, I didn't say that. That's not how it happened. Distorting your reality to the point where you're crazy. Right? So when you actually start to bring this stuff up, you're so mentally exhausted with the gymnastics that you're playing in your head that they left you with, trying to handle your own stuff, that you shrink down and don't even worry about you because they won't even put any effort in on their side of stuff. So you're trying to handle theirs on top. And who do you focus on? Being you? You uplift them onto a pedestal and you're worrying about their stuff. You don't even recall yours. And you're just word salad and word vomiting everything. So when you do talk to them finally, what happens? When they say they want to talk, they say like a sentence or two, and who's doing all the talking? You are. You're talking 98% of the time, they're talking 2%. And it's supposed to be them talking. It's supposed to be them explaining. And instead, you're doing it all. And they love that because when you're doing all the talking, you sound crazy and they don't have to do anything. And they can just yes you to death. And then eventually, it makes it look like you guys settled something that you really didn't. And then you'll notice it 2 or 3 days later and start feeling like, you know what? We didn't actually settle this. And then you try to re-bring it up, even though it's in a better place and a better time, thinking, hey, okay, I could talk to this person. But guess what happens? They get more irritated with you because, hey, I thought this was dead and gone. And you should be able to bring it up as many times as you want until you finally feel that 110% closure, which they never leave you with. And they keep you in that loop. And when the relationship is over, when they finally decide, you know what, I'm done avoiding, I'm done saying I don't know, I'm done saying I don't want to talk, and I'm done doing the slow fade, I'm done gaslighting, I'm done just, walking out, however way, shape, or form, whatever I want to do, and they cut the rug out from under you, and they give you no conclusion, they don't answer any of your questions, and they just leave you reeling. If you sit there and try to reach out to them in any way, shape, or form, if you give them this big message, if you want to meet up, if you want to talk, even if it's going good and you started to heal a little bit, they still didn't do anything because they were entertaining somebody else. And you feel like, okay, we're not together anymore. I can bring certain things up or whatever. And maybe I can just ask because I feel like, okay, we should be able to do that. And all you're going to do again is trigger them again. And once they do that, it's no different than when you're in a relationship because they're going to see that as needy, clingy, whiny, and they don't find that attractive. So they avoid and they run and they push you away. They pull you when they need you, and that's where they leave you. So don't let this happen to you. If it is happening to you, get out. You're not crazy. They're making you crazy. As soon as you're out from under that, you will feel a breath of fresh air, and you will start to realize the relief that you're feeling. And I know it's hard when you confuse it with love, but it's not love. So I hope this helped. If you're going through it, if you've been through it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For the subscriber, I hope this answers it for you. This is just what they do, man. Thank you so much for the video idea. If anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, video ideas, you need to talk about something like this viewer did and you want me to address it, I can keep it completely anonymous like I did with this one. Let me know. I got a lot more video ideas. I'm glad to be back. Thank you guys so much for the love, the comments, the shares, the subscribes, everything. It's going great. Really, thank you guys so much. This is not possible without you. So glad to be back, and I will catch you guys on the next one.